What it do? It's DOA back with another episode of Putting Shit Together. Today we back on Jason Whitlock. Just watched Jason Whitlock's show. Y'all know I be trying to watch it every day. I give him his respect and his kudos as much as I can, but like I told y'all in the previous videos about Jason Whitlock, my only issue with him is that he seems to be a black man that is not comfortable entirely with his black self. And it's a myriad of reasons why I say this. He himself has vocalized that he, dates white women and probably wants to marry a white woman, which is no real issue with that, on the surface, as long as you are not doing it because you want to have these mixed kids, this prettier than I guess you think a black kid could be, if as long as it's not stemming from self-hatred, then I guess it's okay. But I watched this episode where he was speaking about Russell Wilson, and he just made a lot of points that I felt like I needed to push back against. A lot of points as to why Russell Wilson is, I guess, not accepted seemingly, and, this, that, and the other. So without me trying to put words into his mouth, we're going to go ahead and get into the clip, and then we'll come back and talk about it, or I might stop it along the way depending on how I'm feeling. But let's go ahead and get into it.
Because of Black Twitter. It's because of this social media influence and this thing that they invented, Black Twitter, to control the mentality and the identity of.
I just say I don't even really know what Black Twitter is for real. I don't know. I wasn't really on Twitter to begin with, or X or whatever. I got on there for a point in time, and shoot, I guess they shut my page down. I did something they ain't like, so they went ahead and blocked me out. But I don't know what Black Twitter is. I guess it's just a lot of the black people who's got voice or whatever, or a following, making their opinions felt. But we'll keep it going.
Black people. Black Twitter destroyed Russell Wilson. And it started basically on draft day for Russell Wilson. 15 years ago, on draft day, that picture of Russell Wilson and that video of Russell Wilson's then wife, or fiance, I think it was his wife then, but fiance, them celebrating him getting drafted. And that image of her with her mouth wide open and teeth and just, that image, that meme all over Black Twitter, Russell Wilson, white wife, white girlfriend, celebrating. They use that to ridicule this man from the very beginning of his career. And first 9 years of Russell Wilson's success, there is no one that would not say that, man, super successful. Super successful. 9 straight years with a winning record every year. 9 straight years of making it to the playoffs. I believe they made it to the playoffs every year. But if you go look at the first, I think maybe in his first 10 years, he played in 10 Pro Bowls, had a couple of, I think, second team All-Pros. Russell Wilson was a Hall of Fame quarterback, well on his way. And then he leaves Seattle with his reputation tarnished and never being able to escape the belief, the narrative that he couldn't connect with his black teammates. And yes, Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor and some of these defensive players, the Legion of Boom, were tough on Russell Wilson. And then Marshawn Lynch, the running back, started chiming in and piling on. They all did it pandering to Black Twitter, in my opinion. And that's why I call Black Twitter the Legion of Doom.
Now, I gotta stop it right there before we get too far into it and just comment on this draft day perception of Russell Wilson. Now, Jason Whitlock is gonna make it seem as if it's simply because he had a white wife or a white girlfriend or fiance or whatever the case may be that black people started railing him. But let's keep it real, man. How many of these NFL draft picks have we seen with white girls? A myriad of NFL draftees have been pictured with they white girls, girlfriend, wives, whatever. Like, there's so many professional athletes, black male professional athletes that have white spouses. I don't think that it can simply be chalked up to that. We watch this all the time. Black male athletes with white women as they spouses. That's not nothing new. That's not nothing unique to Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure who Richard Sherman's wife is either. I'm going to look it up before I drop this video, but he almost seems like he would have a white wife. And I'm not saying he does. Maybe he doesn't. But it's like, bro, this ain't nothing new. So simply, that can't simply be the cause of all the ridicule to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has done things on his own that is probably causing that ridicule. And just because you got a white wife does not mean you cannot connect with your black teammates. One of the most successful men we seen, which is Tom Brady, and I know it's a little different because he's a white man, but he has a white wife, and that didn't stop him from connecting with his teammates. That alone can't stop you from connecting with your teammates. I mean, this was a super goofy picture right here. He might have had a goofier white woman than what we might be used to seeing, but that's just gonna get you joked on a little bit. That's gonna get you and your white girl joked on. I mean, if it was a black woman and she had a goofy face like this, niggas is gonna joke on that, and that's to be expected. But I don't think this is the root of all of Russell Wilson's problems, but we'll keep it going.
Black Twitter is the vehicle that controls what is and isn't acceptable for black athletes, black entertainers. And from draft day on, with the picture of him and his wife or fiance celebrating on the couch, they ridiculed this man. And even when he ends up divorcing the wife, or she divorces him, or they go their separate ways, and he remarries Ciara, someone from the culture, someone that's got a baby by a rapper. He marries her, makes an honest woman of her, seems to go all in with her and the kid she had by, is it Future? I think she's got the baby by, or Offset, Future, one of these rappers, Snoop Dogg, one of these rappers tapped her up and got her pregnant, and he's been raising that baby as his own. Russell Wilson has been the ideal husband, mentor, father. He's played the game. And he's, I hate to even call it a game, but he's done the right things, but he's never been able to repair his image. He's never been able to escape. He's not black enough. He's never been able to escape that he's Russell Weirdo. He's never been able to escape Black Twitter. And this is not to me saying Russell Wilson did everything appropriately and properly, but it speaks to the limited box that black athletes, black young people, black men, that they play in. Their behavior, what they can and cannot do, is gatekept at a level no one else's is. You're not trust me, there are some weird white quarterbacks. You don't hear about them. You don't hear conversations in detail about, hey, they're not.
I'm gonna stop it right there. Now, I believe Jason Whitlock puts black people in a box that they have to operate in. And it's interesting because he himself doesn't operate within this box. He listens to country music. He, is a uber Christian, and most black people are very religious. That's not outside of the box per se, but to the degree that he goes to kind of puts him outside of the box. He's you see how he just talked about the rappers. He just mixed Future, Snoop Dogg, and myriad of other rappers that really ain't got nothing to do with each other, but he just kind of cast them all into this one box. And that's what I see Whitlock often do. And it kind of turns me off sometimes because I don't like people that feel like black people are monolithic. We see Ryan Clark do this often too, but in the other dimension, he's made comments that Lamar Jackson is like blacker than the other black quarterbacks that's in the league. And I can only guess that he's equating this to Lamar Jackson wears a grill during the game, and he speaks somewhat unintelligently, and he feels like that's some of the markers that make you black, which is just ignorant as can be. I don't even know, what Lamar Jackson upbringing was like to be able to even say that. And I don't know Russell Wilson's upbringing like that to say that Lamar Jackson is blacker than he is. Like, it makes no sense. But he was just saying that there's weird white quarterbacks, but you don't hear about them. But Aaron Rodgers is arguably one of the weirder white quarterbacks in the NFL, and we do hear about him because once your weirdness starts to interfere with how you interact with the rest of your team, then it is brought to the forefront. And I believe that's why Aaron Rodgers off the field antics and stuff has been brought to the forefront because it has reached the level where it interferes with the way a lot of his other teammates interact with him. We also, what was that? Zach Wilson, maybe? I think that's his name. The guy who used to be the quarterback for the Jets. And you could see that he looked uncomfortable around black men. And I mean, that's a weird way to be when you playing in a league that's dominated by black men. But he did not have success at the Jets. And a lot of people pointed out that he seems like, I know I was one of them, that he seems like he doesn't interact well with black men. And that is not good for team synergy. You had Aaron Rodgers out taking retreats and doing ayahuasca and all of this other stuff instead of being at OTAs, instead of being at the training camp as much as he could be in order to build that synergy with his new team. And they didn't perform well. And people brought that up as that could be a reason why he's not performing well, is because they don't have that chemistry as a team because of some of the weird ways in which Aaron Rodgers carries himself. I don't think anybody would have really made a big to-do about him going on these retreats had he continued to play at the level that we expect Aaron Rodgers to play at. And that's the same with Russell Wilson. People didn't really get on Russell Wilson's trail until they lost that other Super Bowl where they was on the goal line and they threw a pass instead of handing it to Marshawn Lynch. Then people started to try to pick apart the dynamics of that team because it's like everybody probably would have handed the ball off to Marshawn Lynch being the back that he was at the time. it almost seemed like a no-brainer to hand them the ball with the game on the line, but instead there was a different play call, and people started to question, well, why wouldn't they give it to Marshawn Lynch? What kind of problems do they have with Marshawn Lynch? Now we know Marshawn Lynch is very unapologetic. You know, he's definitely, I guess you could say, more urban of a black man, and a lot of the urban culture look to him and kind of praised him. So then you have to think, well, what did this become a problem to the team, and is that the reason why they did not entrust him with the ball? And then you see the dynamic of Russell Wilson being a different kind of black man, and then you kind of start to, question what was acceptable, what was most acceptable to that team and the team dynamic. So I believe that's where it kind of started from, but we'll keep it going.
Not white enough, or they're too white. You don't hear, they're allowed to be themselves as long as they can play on the field, as long as they're an asset on the field. Well, for 9 or 10 straight years in Seattle, no one could argue that Russell Wilson wasn't a strong asset and valuable for Seattle. But he had to spend so much energy, so much emotional energy, fighting the label, not black enough, he's weird, his defensive teammates don't like him, don't respect him. His Marshawn Lynch, he was at some party, and let me translate all the criticism in reality as it relates to Russell Wilson. Man, he don't smoke enough weed with us. He don't come out and get drunk and hit the strip clubs with us. He don't say the N-word enough or the right way. He don't say nigga enough. That was the real criticism of Russell Wilson. Man, if he...
And now y'all see why I made this video. You hear the stuff Jason Whitlock just said? He just stereotyped black people all in a one-liner. Like, he don't smoke enough weed with us. He don't go to the strip clubs enough with us. He don't say the N-word enough. Like, that don't make you black, bro. No, I don't think anybody really on the street was ever saying Russell Wilson's not black enough. Russell Wilson is black. There's really no disputing that. I myself was a fan of Russell Wilson. I was rooting for him as a black quarterback, as a black man. And I didn't care if he went to the strip club or if he smoked weed or if he used the N-word. I didn't believe that he did that for that to be the reason that I was supporting him. I was just supporting him as another black man. We did the same thing with Tiger Woods. We supported Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is the one that came out and denounced some of that support. He the one that chinked that armor as far as that goes, because he kind of pushed away from black people to let us know that he's not fully black. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I can respect him for that, because if your mama is another ethnicity, then you want to give respect to that ethnicity as well. And as I've grown up, I've realized that we cannot try to fully claim these mixed race people, because they're not black. To be honest, they're mixed race. So, yeah, there's some black in there, but they not all the way black for us to be claiming them as all the way black. But Russell Wilson is. You know what I'm saying? And I never said Russell Wilson ain't black enough. He don't smoke enough weed. Like, bro, I guarantee you all the black men on the Seattle Seahawks team at that time did not smoke weed. I guarantee all of them did not go to the strip club. All of them did not use the N-word constantly. And I'm sure that didn't make a problem. He's making it seem as if Marshawn Lynch and the Legion of Boom defense all smoke weed, they all go to the strip club, and they all use the N-word over and over again. And that might not be the case. And then even if they were, Now you saying that is the prerequisite for them to accept you as a black person. And I know that can't be the truth. I just know it can't. I know Marshawn Lynch is not that monolithic in thought. I know he doesn't have that as precursors to him accepting you. I just know it can't be like that. Marshawn Lynch is who he is, but I'll guarantee you he ain't hating on nobody because they not like him. You ain't gotta be like him. Black people come in a myriad of different forms and fashions, and they can all be accepted as long as they're acceptable. But just because you, it's people out there that smoke weed, say the N word, and all that, and a lot of black people's not gonna accept them because they're weird. They're still unacceptable in the way that they conduct and carry themselves. So just because you do these things don't mean I gotta give you a pass. You know what I'm saying? And y'all seen my critiques of Lamar Jackson, and he may well do all of the things Jason Whitlock just mentioned, but he still does things that's unacceptable in my book. Therefore, I'm going to call him out. I'm not going to say he ain't black. Nah, he's black. He's just a black dude who does unacceptable things. And I believe that's where they put Russell Wilson. Not to say he's not black enough.
Came out and partied with us and smoked weed and spoke this slang and denigrated himself by calling himself and others the N-word constantly, man, he'd be down. He would fit in more. Russell Wilson was never allowed that freedom. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying that everything that he did was appropriate. That there are things odd about his personality. But when someone's balling for you for a decade straight, when someone is that kind of an asset for you that many years straight, teams put up with it. Teammates put up with it. If you're white, if you're black, it becomes this albatross that jumps on your back and weighs you down and has you feeling conflicted, survivor's remorse, has you questioning your own identity. Am I black enough? Do I need to marry some R&B singer that has a baby by a rapper? Do I need to remember when he got the new contract and he and Ciara were laying in bed and, you know, Russell Wilson put on his best Barry White voice and I can't even remember what he said, but it was something like, are you ready, Seattle? Or Seattle, here we come, or Seattle, we... I can't remember what it was, but it was Russell Wilson trying to act like he was... Is it... Why can't I think of Donnie Simpson's name? Or he used to host Soul Train. Don Cornelius, is that? But it was Russell Wilson trying to do the black effect, trying to satisfy black Twitter, trying to appease all the people that say he's not black enough. That's what eventually destroyed Russell Wilson. But this reminds me of Will Smith and Suge Knight. Suge Knight, who never rapped but was just kind of represented the persona of rap music and the brand of rap music. Far more respected than Will Smith, whose rap songs like Summertime and the rap songs that didn't do a lot of cursing, didn't promote gang violence. Will Smith was, you know, starring in movies, Men in Black, getting $20 million a movie, doing music that you could play in front of your kids and your parents and your grandparents. But he was never black enough. And Suge Knight, someone like Suge Knight had more respect and was more revered. And
Man, that's crazy talk right there, man. That is crazy talk, bro. If you came up with Will Smith, bro, black people looked up to Will Smith, bro, for the longest time until Will Smith did weird old shit. Will Smith is an undercover homosexual who got with a chick that's butch as fuck it's similar to what Russell Wilson's doing, because he himself might be an undercover homosexual, and that might be his problem. That might be what niggas smell on him, is that he's an undercover homosexual trying to act like he's not that. Yeah, okay, Tom Brady and them can get away with it. Tom Brady be kissing his son in the mouth and kissing Robert Kraft in the mouth, but he does it in a public facing forum, so people probably accept him because he accepts himself as being a bisexual man. If you comfortable with it, you allow other people to be comfortable with it. But if you're uncomfortable with it, people start to write you off as fake. Bro, Will Smith was the Fresh Prince. Will Smith was Mike Lowry in Bad Boys. We play Summertime at every one of our family reunions. It might still be getting played at family reunions. So to act like because he didn't cuss a lot, that's why we didn't accept him and think he was black enough. Like, man, what are you talking about? That is crazy talk right there. We all accepted Will Smith until he started to show his true colors, and he's a weirdo. He's too weird to be palatable. And that's his problem. And some of his weirdness is probably because he's not fully himself. And he tries to do things that he think is gonna make him more black. Why would you get with Jada Pinkett, bro? When Jada Pinkett to the public has expressed that she might have more love for another man than you. She loves somebody else more than she loves you. It don't look like she's in love with you, bruh. But you got with her because she came off as this ratchet, super black woman. And in reality, she turned us off as well. And you being with her in a make-believe type of a relationship is a turnoff to your people, because it's like, why are you doing this? There's no real explanation for you being with this woman who acts like she doesn't really give a fuck about you, and you still sticking with her. You making these kids with her, and y'all making y'all kids weird and all of this shit. Like, bro, that's unacceptable. Same thing's going on with Dwayne Wade. Niggas love Dwayne Wade, but Dwayne Wade is wearing out his welcome. And then they gonna say, oh, he wasn't black enough. Nah, Dwayne Wade plenty black. Dwayne Wade for certainly is black enough, but he's too fucking weird and it's unacceptable. He's too odd and that's unacceptable. And it's not like, oh, being unique is unacceptable. You can be unique as long as you being yourself. But once you go too far, it's like you look disingenuous and niggas don't want to fuck with you. That's what's happening. So all this Will Smith like to Suge Knight, nah, bruh. It's a lot of niggas who don't like Suge Knight. As black as he is and as black as he seems, a lot of niggas don't rock with Suge Knight. You know what I'm saying? Suge Knight kind of on the outs. Suge Knight got a smaller group of people who believe in him than he once did before, you know, but Suge Knight is still going to be accepted and respected by a wide range of black people because he don't look like he's doing anything really phony. He might make moves that people don't approve of, but it don't look phony. Russell Wilson does shit that looks phony. Will Smith started to do shit that look phony. Just like Ryan Clark, to me, is doing shit that looks phony. Like, bro, you had a kid with a white woman. Now you want to come out here and talk like you Malcolm X, my nigga. Now every time you talk, it got to be something about black people and black culture and black this. And like, my nigga, you was out here like RG3. You didn't marry the chick, but shit, she might as well be your wife. Like, nigga, you had a kid with her. Now you all black power, this, and that, and the third. Like, nigga, that shit is phony. You know what I'm saying? It's like you putting on an act, my nigga, instead of just being yourself. If you want to bring a white girl to the cookout, bring a white girl to the cookout, my nigga. But don't don't come start preaching black power this and black power that, and you bringing a white girl to the cookout, nigga. We gon' joke on you a little bit, but we still gonna accept you and your woman. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's an ignorant crowd of black people, maybe they won't. But in my experience, and I'm from the hood, like, bro, you can bring a white girl to the cookout if you want to. You know, it'll be the same thing as you wearing something crazy to the cookout. Niggas gonna joke on you a little bit. They might look at you crazy a little bit, but if you comfortable in it, niggas is gonna, you can still get down at the spades table. You know what I'm saying? We still gonna let you do what you do. So black people's very accepting in that regard. So the way he's putting this off, man, it just don't make sense to me.
More celebrated than Will Smith as a rapper. And when we look back at Russell Wilson's career, I think at some point, if we're in our right minds, we will be amazed that Marshawn Lynch will be more respected than Russell Wilson. Marshawn Lynch, and I'm not going to apologize for it, it's factual, it's true, it's the way he wants to portray himself, it's the way he carries himself. Marshawn Lynch wants you to think that he's a thug, and he carries himself that way. And he speaks a style of English that's difficult to understand, and he looks high most of the time you see him. The entire league, the entire corporate media structure will be more comfortable with Marshawn Lynch than Russell Wilson. That's amazing. Everybody listening to the sound of my voice would much rather have Russell Wilson at their Thanksgiving dinner table than Marshawn Lynch, unless your Thanksgiving dinner table includes a big bag of weed and maybe a little ecstasy on the side.
Wow.
But
crazy.
everybody, hey, Russell Wilson's coming over for Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, Russell Wilson's dating my daughter. Hey, Russell Wilson's dating my auntie. Whatever. Oh, that's great. Awesome. He's going to treat your auntie or your daughter the way he's treated Ciara and her stray baby. That would be awesome. But yeah, most of America would rather sit around and get high and talk stupid with Marshawn Lynch. It's very sad. If you enjoyed that video,
Man, I cut this off in real time, so that was my first time hearing that last part. That's just insane, man. You could tell, man, Jason Whitlock just got a problem with himself and his blackness. Then you projecting that on to the rest of us. Like, man, people like Marshawn Lynch because he's genuine. Because you don't have to read into him. He's going to keep it real about how he feels and what he likes at all times. And people can appreciate that amount of genuineness and not having to try to dive deep and figure this person out. You know what Marshawn Lynch likes. You know what he don't like. And then that gives you the ability to accept that or reject that in real time. And that's fine. Who don't appreciate that? I appreciate people who are genuine in themselves. Like, I don't mind going to a country town and, hey, if it's people there that don't like black people, then let that shit be known. What I would be uncomfortable with is sitting down somewhere where it appears that they like my kind of people, but they really is plotting behind my back. They mumbling under their breath about how they don't like me and don't accept me and my family. That's a much less comfortable position than if I go there and they flags is flying and they telling me off the top what they do and don't like about me. I can accept that more than somebody who's gonna act like they like me but really despise me. You see, it at least clears the table for a conversation and a discussion. But when you got people like Russell Wilson who's gonna act like they listen to rap, act like I listen to Sierra all the time, when really you probably never did listen to Sierra, but now you with her. You know what I'm saying? You want us to believe that that's the truth, but that's not really who you are, and that is disturbing. That's fake, for lack of better words, and people don't like that. What people liked about Suge Knight was he put on for the culture. He brought about Tupac, you know what I'm saying? He was giving rappers opportunities where they weren't having opportunities before. But like I said, a lot of people, some people got turned off of Suge Knight when a lot of things went down with him or whatever, and that's they right. You know what I'm saying? But then you got Will Smith getting with a woman who's in love with Tupac, who's borderline crazy over Tupac, when really you don't even seem like you're the style of dude who really appreciated Tupac yourself. Like you just don't seem like you was rocking with Pac. You know what I'm saying? But now you gonna rock with a chick who thinks she's Pac in a female form. It's like, bro, that don't seem like it's a good mixture. And for that, you can lose, people can lose taste for you when you do things like that. So, as much as I try to support Jason Whitlock, man, it's always something with him. He'll go good for a while, and then he'll have a show like this where it's just like, damn, bro, you really trying to degrade black people, and you super mad at all black people for that which probably just a certain majority or minority of us believe in. We ain't all rocking with Black Twitter. We ain't all smoking weed and doing this, that, and the third, drinking Henny and all that shit. That's not, but I still rock with Marshawn Lynch. I don't drink Hennessy, but I still can rock with Marshawn Lynch. Because Marshawn Lynch going to be himself and I'm going to be myself, and we going to be able to have good dialogue. Russell Wilson, I don't know. He might fake. He might act like he like everything that I like, but on the real, he really don't rock with the shit. And that's not genuine enough for me as a person. So, y'all let me know what y'all think about this shit in the comments, man, please. And weigh in on it. Body slam the comments, man. Like, share, subscribe. As always, it's a pleasure having y'all tune in. It's peace and love and light, wisdom and insight. DOA, putting shit together. To the next episode, man. Peace.